Hey! You guys are attractive. I'm not just saying that. When I was 16, I had the literary equivalent of a one-night stand. And he wasn't just some guy that I picked up at a bar. He was smart and successful and powerful. Professional wrestler Cactus Jack. It's not. It's not. He was a very famous politician in the 1800s. And his name was John C. Calhoun. But let me back up. Shortly after my 16th birthday, I had the opportunity to become a member of a very prestigious sisterhood. They called themselves the International House of Man Cakes. IHOM for short. And the International House of Man Cakes was an erotic fan fiction writing and role-playing group. And this was 2002, and the internet was still fairly anonymous, so this was like the one place where horny high school nerdy girls could come and express themselves by writing the most like filthy, detailed stories about fictional men, or as we like to call them, our man-slaves. And it wasn't an easy time to be a fangirl in like around 2002, 2003. I mean, we didn't even have YouTube yet. You had to download your fan videos via like sketchy sites called like Dream Vision, and you might download it and it wouldn't even be a fan video at all, which was very disappointing to me. I feel like kids today, fangirls today, they don't know how lucky they have it because they can get high quality pictures of fucking anything. And I still, to this day, freak out if I see like a picture of like the Star Wars cast behind the scenes that I haven't seen before, because there are only like 13 of them. I don't know why I know that. No reason. So what I loved about the International House of Man Cakes is that it was a place for us to really express themselves, and I was kind of a girl who didn't really have a lot of friends. I lived inside my head most of the time. I didn't really have a lot of friends that shared my interests. My interests were primarily fictional men. And mostly I just studied for AP history and did my homework at lunch and read a lot of adventure novels, and that was my life. But I loved the girls at International House of Man Cakes because they each had a different manslave and like a different persona. There was like this girl named Carrie who was really into BDSM, and there was this girl named Bunny who was our fearless leader. She was the founder of IHOM, and she's really into all things French because the movie Moulin Rouge had just come out. And then there was Alexa, and Alexa was really into the founding fathers. She had recently seen the movie 1776, which she claimed had a lot of gay subtext. And her manslaves were Alexander Hamilton and Thomas Jefferson. And Alexa was by far the most prolific member of IHOM, and she was by far the best. And every week we had these contests with different themes, and we'd have to submit a story. And Alexa would win every single week, and the prize was that your name would be at the front of the website, because it was all online through LiveJournal, and it would say, "This week's challenge winner is Alexa. You are the master of men." And Alexa had been the master of men for like 8 weeks going. No one else had a chance because her stories were always like, "Then I unlaced Alexander Hamilton's cravat and my lips moved down his naked body, and Thomas Jefferson stormed in. And he said, 'What are you doing in my bed?' Without me." And then we spent the whole night, the three of us, pleasuring each other in each room of Monticello. Because she wrote these just elaborate stories, and they were always so good, and I didn't know, I don't even know how, I had never had a boyfriend. I didn't know how a 2002 penis worked, let alone like late 1700s penis. And even though sometimes I got the impression, like during so many different theme weeks, so it was like save a drum, bang a drum, or write about a one-night stand with your favorite musician. Or during Pirate Week, which was Girl Get That Booty. Alexa wrote this story featuring Captain Jack Sparrow that just made me go, I don't know if that's how a penis works, but she just did it with such abandon that I didn't have in me. So every week I would make excuses about why I hadn't written. And Alexa started commenting whenever I would leave comments on the other stories. Like I would go to Bunny's story and I would write, oh yeah, I love Moulin Rouge too. I can't wait to reenact the Lady Marmalade music video alone in my room, which I did. I turned out great, by the way. So if you're worried, yeah. If you're worried about your kids, I reenacted that video every day of my life and I turned out awesome. So I would write these comments and then Alexa would come in and reply to me and write things like, yeah, it's a great story, but what do you got? Or I would comment on one of Carrie's stories with the BDSM, like, oh, I didn't know Dr. Frankenfurter could spank that hard. And she would write, you know what really spanks? People who don't contribute to IHOM. And one day we were on a group chat, and she had this whole rant where it was like, I don't know why you're even here if you're not going to do anything, because IHOM girls aren't watchers, they are doers of fictional men. But every week, I couldn't get it up to do this story. Like, I would make excuses like, oh, sorry, I'm really busy with AP history. Oh, sorry, my computer died. Oh, I thought I hit submit. Oh, I didn't save a copy. Sorry, no story for me. And every week it was the same, and I just got more and more frustrated with myself because I really wanted to do it. I wanted to be that kind of girl, but I just couldn't manage to do it. And then one day I was at home on the family computer studying for my AP history test. And I had the book next to me, the AP history book, The American Pageant. It was this really grandiose textbook, had like hilarious little phrases in it. And I had my eyes sort of wandered to the IHOM front page where I was logged in, and I saw an entry that said, this week's challenge, write about your favorite historical figure. And I'm like, well, Alexa's gonna win, why even try? But then my eyes wandered down the page to this picture that I had looked at quite a lot. It was a picture of John C. Calhoun. And it was this famous Southern politician in like the early half of the 1800s, and he ran for like every political office, and he was a representative, a senator, vice president. He never successfully was the president, though. So every week we would read about what the election was in AP history, and we'd have to keep turning back to his page with all his titles on it. But this picture of him, I remember saying to my classmates, I don't mind turning back to that picture every day. I'm a really awkward winker. And they were just like, that's nice for you. And every week I'd look at this picture because he had these dark eyes and this kind of dark hair that looked wet all the time. And it was this, backlit kind of oil painting. And that night, as I was staring there in front of the International House of Mancakes, I found myself being pulled in by John C. Calhoun, and before I knew it, I was writing, and before I knew it, I was transformed to this world where I am the redheaded version of Scarlett O'Hara, and we are meeting for the first time, and I'm a Southern belle, and he lives, across not across the street, because it doesn't exist then in the plantation days, but you get my drift. So we had, fought as children, but then he came back, and now he's, back from sea, and he's super hot, and we're both of age. And I argue with him that night at my father's ball about impressment, because I wanted to show that I knew history knowledge. Because I didn't love him for his body, I also loved him for his mind. And at the end of the night, we find ourselves alone in the library playing a game of strip chess. Winner takes all, and he did. And we had sex on top of the table in the library as the sun came up. And I hit submit before I had even realized what happened. I was doing my favorite post-story thing that I always do when I write a lot, which is that I go and get a little, not a real shot because I was young, of juice, a little tiny juice glass, and I take the juice and I take a shot and I throw it down on the desk, which I started doing because of Kathleen Turner in Romancing the Stone, because she does that. And so I submit the story. And the truth is, I actually never wrote for IHOM again. It shut down shortly after as we all moved on, but I did win the contest over Alexa. And for one brief moment, I was the master of men. Thank you.